सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
You can chant whatever Gita verses you want to.
भोगैश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तयापहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः तमाधौ न विधीयते। त्रैगुण्यविषया वेदाः निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थः निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान्। यावानर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः। कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि। योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्यो समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते। दूरेण ह्यवरं कर्म बुद्धियोगाधनञ्जय बुद्धौ शरणमन्विञ्च कृपणा फलहेतवः बुद्धियुक्तो जहातीह उभे सुकृतदुष्कृते तस्माद्योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्।
Very good. Thank you. So we are going to now continue seeing the most beneficial of knowledge that is possible to be received in any life form, in any living, by any living being. What is that knowledge? One cannot deny the fact that I am an aware person. Awareness I have. I am conscious. Who can deny that? None of us can deny. If this conscious claim that I have, that I am a conscious being, I am conscious, I am aware, all that the Shastra or Rishis, or with the help of the Shastra, the inquirers, went about figuring out what is this awareness, what is its role, or what is its contribution? What is its proportion in making me who I am? What inquiry on consciousness, being conscious, not even consciousness. You can't inquire consciousness, but you can inquire my being conscious. I am conscious. And that anybody and everybody can get into an inquiry on. What is this conscious contribution to me? If you start inquiry along that line, I say I'm aware. I'm aware of sound, I'm aware of sight, I'm an aware person. Sometimes my awareness seems to be very low, but I'm definitely self-aware. I cannot deny my self-awareness ever. That I'm not aware of myself. I cannot say that. I was not aware of you calling me, some other sound from there. I just didn't hear. I wasn't aware that you are present, you were there behind. I can use awareness and not awareness with reference to all these things. Oh, I wasn't aware that the neighbor shifted. Oh, I wasn't aware that there was an earthquake. Oh, I wasn't aware that, with reference to a perception, I can say I didn't have an awareness or not. I can say I have an awareness or not. But with reference to myself, can I claim the same? Oh, I wasn't aware of myself for a short time. Can you ever conclude that? Oh, I wasn't conscious of myself for a little while. Even when I say I'm unconscious, I don't have the knowledge that I'm unconscious. I was asleep. When in sleep, I don't have the knowledge that I am not awake. That knowledge is not there. What is the knowledge that there is? That awareness that there is. That consciousness that there is. Hey. That awareness, consciousness, as we call it, being conscious is my experience. Inquiry on that is bringing one to the absolute truth. When you inquire correctly and discover its true contribution to who I am. What is its proportion of contribution? What is its, excuse me, what is its contribution is all I can think of at this point. What is its real support? Or what is its contribution to who I am? उसका relation, उसका संबंध मेरे होने में क्या है? How much is it contributing to it? To who I think I am? I say I am a name and a form. मैं दीप्ति हूँ. मैं दीप्ति हूँ में मैं aware हूँ that I am दीप्ति. What is that relation of that मैं aware हूँ and मैं दीप्ति हूँ? इनका कोई संबंध है? इनका कोई relation है? This is the inquiry that thinkers had undertaken, which brought us to this knowledge that they shed to human beings. Shastras evolved, Shastra came into existence, giving this knowledge, and people were able to fine-tune, think along with it, and understand that that conscious is not a supportive thing to my existence. That conscious, I am aware, is the sole supporter of my existence. I start the inquiry by saying, is that conscious, when I say I'm aware, how much is it supporting my existence, my identity? On inquiry, I realize that my identity is supported by the consciousness. It is supported by the awareness. And that awareness, that consciousness is the true nature of myself, and this comes and goes. This is temporary. Deeptiness is just here now, not there tomorrow. It'll be here and then later on hung on a wall as a photograph. And that's about it all. It'll be gone. Nothing more than that. It had a little while. It came as an expression of life. Later on, maybe, maybe, on some wall. It's temporary. But what is deeptiness dependent on? This Deepti can inquire while she is a Deepti. What is the Deeptiness coming from? That nature of inquiry, that arrival of the conclusion, who she is, who he is, what is this nature? That's the final truth. Here Shastra says, उसको जानने के लिए ये जो दीप्तिनेस में सब विकार आज हैं because she thought herself to be Deepti. Today she has all lot of images and impressions, and she has all lot of ideas about herself and her wants and her desires, etc., etc. Today that she's so engaged thinking she's Deepti, this needs a little modeling. This needs a little refining. This needs a little shedding. This needs a little filtering. This needs to be prepared, because holding the idea as she is, she cannot get onto the inquiry. वो होगा नहीं, because इच्छाएं अगर भरी हुई हैं, इच्छाएं भरी है तो अच्छाओं की प्राप्ति के लिए वो लगी रहेगी, and because of that, the inquiry is not going to take fruition. For that preparation, for that qualification, to know the truth about her own being, her own conscious component is the right word. If I think today me being conscious is a component of me, to know that truly, this needs modification, this needs qualification, and that knowledge is so valuable. How will I qualify myself to know my own component? That qualification are these verses. Karam karte hue. Where is the qualification starting? Qualification starts where I am already placed. Being here, placed here in the world, I am engaged as Deepti. This Deepti, whatever her starting point of her thinking and her desires and her feelings and her whatever that bundle is of her relations, of her friends and family and everything that she has in relation to, she is in relation to and engaged with. Here she starts. What does she start? First and foremost, Krishna says, she starts by understanding your right is only in your action. So in my life and in my engagements with life, wherever there is an attachment or wherever there's an expectation of a fruit which propels me to act, I start to correct that. What is a correction? फल से मन को हटा दो. फल को जो आधार बन के कर्म कर रहा है, उस फल से मन को हटा दो. As a result of which, अगर मन कर्म में disinterested हो रहा है, bring it to inspiration to work. Don't let it slip into inaction. bring it to inspiration to work, and keep it inspired in working in the same enthusiasm that it would if it was attached to result. अगर फल देख के एक enthusiasm आ रहा है कर्म करने का, फल को छोड़ के कर्म छूटने की इच्छा हो जाए, उसको दबाना एज इन उसको रोक लो एंड कर्म करो and keep the enthusiasm going for the action without getting to the result, mind hankering on the result. Do not, while you are acting, a very important principle, while the action is on, the fruit is anyway not coming. फल का रिश्ता कर्म के साथ, it is in time, it will come, it is in the future, it is not straight away. Till the action, if it's a small action, 1 or 2 steps, yes, you will get immediate results, you can see an immediate result. But there will be actions that have long planned action plan. It's something like saying, if I start a Gita class, it is a long-term action plan. You need a lot of anugrah to say, we'll conclude it. It's a long term. That means I cannot keep my mind on the fact that खत्म हो रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है, कितना होएगा, आज 1, कल 2. No. There is an outline, stick to the outline, but keep your mind on the action, not on the result. Result is not yet in the picture. Because what is in the picture? What is now in the picture?
Intent.
Action. Your action is in the picture. अभी आप कर्म कर रहे हो. Karam is in your picture. In the present, what is there? Action. Let's do the action. Then what? Now came the fact that if I'm doing an action, then actions tend to find me because first इच्छा से जुड़ता है, फल से जुड़ता है. Therefore, he says, let this action be done in a way that it qualifying you towards this conscious component, to know this conscious component of yours. इसकी एक जिज्ञासा भी तो बननी चाहिए, एक इच्छा भी तो बननी चाहिए भाई. How am I aware? One must have a desire to know that also. I am an aware being, but do I have a desire to know my awareness? What is this awareness? How is it related to me? What is this consciousness? How is it related to me? Am I the greater being, or is consciousness the greater being? Which component is greater? Is Deepti greater, or is me being conscious greater? एक इच्छा होनी चाहिए to know this. This ichha doesn't fructify, doesn't manifest, doesn't emerge. Shankara uses the word, इसका जन्म ही नहीं होता है. इसको जानने की इच्छा का जन्म ही नहीं होता है. As long as मन अपने ये सकाम इच्छाओं में फंसा हुआ है. As long as I'm driven by desires for phal, for something or the other, for some gain or the other in this sharira, as long as I am inspired to move there with respect to results, so long the desire to know myself will not fructify, will not emerge, will not manifest, will not be loud enough to gain my attention. Because my attention is split, is held by my desires and the results. Therefore, he said, do not make karma phal your hetu, and do not slip into inaction. This idea that I have to qualify myself Keep that as your inspiration. प्रयोजन होना है ना, तो कर्म अगर मैं दृष्टि से करूंगी तो it will qualify me. That is my prayojan. But don't make it as an objective and a result. If I have to qualify myself, that can become my result. Leave it. Because hold what you have to do and focus on what you are doing. That is yogastha. योग में स्थित होके अपना कर्म कर, संगम त्यक्त्वा, giving up your entire hankering for outcomes. What is that yoga? Siddhi asiddhi samaha bhutva. Remaining the same in siddhi and asiddhi. Bhashyakara is going to explain this well. In this present context of the Moolam, say siddhi means accomplishment, asiddhi means failure. Thinking whether my action will give me success or failure. पता नहीं ठीक हो रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है. पता नहीं, is it correct or not? Give that up. Sama hoke. You do your best. Do it in a particular attitude. He's going to explain those further. Set your mind in intent and focus on your action. That's it. When the result comes also, you will need samatvam. Now, whatever the result has come, that samatvam itself is called yoga. He had said in 47th verse, Karmani is your action. Action is your adhikar. We saw it in details yesterday. Phal is not never your adhikar. There is no jurisdiction. Therefore, your mind by nature can travel into unlimitedness, expansiveness. So it can go into the future, it can go into the past. Man ki ek gati hai. Your thoughts will travel into future, your thoughts can travel into past. When it travel in the future, with reference to action, where will they travel?
क्या रिजल्ट होगा, क्या मिलेगा, क्या फल हो सकता है,
मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा, फल से जुड़ के.
Imaginations.
Imaginations. Correct? It can go into the future and think what? While you are doing an action. So many dissipations can be there. It's not just fal se jud ke and imagination. What are the other things you can think of? While you are acting, if your mind, supposing I'm doing this and my mind goes into the future, what all will I do? While I'm talking, my mind has gone into, it can go into the future. What is the future outcome?
You start dreaming of further things after that.
You'll start dreaming of further things.
कोई लोग सीखेंगे नहीं सीखेंगे, will they appreciate me or not, something like those topics related
Correct.
to class.
Correct. What else?
We'll worry about things unnecessarily.
Excellent. क्लास में लोग ही नहीं होते, क्या करूं? How to get more people? How to bring them inspired to attend the class? So many ideas, so many things in the future it can hold. Anxieties, worries, fears. A lot of this bundle of emotions surfaces there. Past, what can it be? My mind can go into the past.
Glories, maybe,
Right.
classes which have gone well, classes which
Regrets.
Regrets.
have...
Not gone well. Yes. You can see that in my present context of action, if my mind has gone into the future while I am conducting here, what will happen to the action? Attention on the action now.
Gets diverted.
It
Diluted.
gets diluted.
Diluted.
Absolutely, it gets diluted. I don't have my full attention here. Whether it has gone in the past or in the future, mind can travel. Mind travels, not can. Mind travels. Thoughts travel. Travel as in thoughts have a gati. Travel means it's not time travel type. It has a gati, it has a flow, it has a movement. Thoughts cannot be stationary. If you examine the nature of thought, what is a thought? A thought has a thinker and has an object of thought. And because there is a relation between the two, there is a movement as if. उसके बारे में सोचता है, as if moves towards it. Thoughts have gati. There is a momentum, there is a movement there. Therefore, thoughts can go forward and backward anywhere. If the thoughts, while अभी तो action हो रहा है, where is the result seen? That if it has already gone into a future means मन मेरा जुड़ गया. जब जुड़ जाता है future outcome से, then what is my present experience? Some of you have already written it here also, and some of you have said it also. Supposing while I'm acting this, my mind has gone into the future. I don't know whether I'll be appreciated or not. I don't know what will happen. I don't know whether the class will continue or not. I don't know. Now, what has happened? What is the emotion? What is the मन की स्थिति क्या होएगी?
Anxious.
Anxious. Sorry?
Disturbed.
Disturbed. That's anxious. It's disturbed. It's anxious. Is it samatvam? Sam hai kya ye?
No.
Is it balanced? No. That means yogastha nahi hai. Karam में मेरा मन योग में नहीं है. It's not yogastha. Stha means जुड़ना. योग से जुड़ना. योग से जुड़ना किसे कहते हैं? सम से जुड़ना. सम से जुड़ना किसे कहते हैं? That this mind has a gati. Where will it go? Other than remaining in the present, it will go in the past or the future. And because of that, there'll be a whole lot of disturbances that I bring in the present. There'll be like a music at the back. We'll keep moving. अंदर ही अंदर डिसिपेशन होती रहेगी. And because of that, योग में से मन हट गया. My action has got compromised. My action has got diluted. My action is not the best. And if the action is not the best, what will happen to the outcome? Outcome is based on
How well the action is done.
Action.
action. Your outcome is based on action. If my action is only not getting done, how is my outcome going to be better? So when the outcome comes, now what will happen to if I'm attached to result, what will happen to it? It'll disturb me further. Dekha, mujhe pata tha. Result will not come well. Now the result is not well. It adds further to my anxiousness. It adds further to my disturbance. It makes me more result oriented for the next time. And all this is what Shastra said, one word, you are in samsar. ये है संसार. कभी आनंद में ना रहना, कभी तृप्त होके ना रहना, कभी अपने आप से संतुष्ट होके ना रहना. That itself is sansar. You're just not tripped by yourself. You're not santusht by yourself. You're always geared up for something or the other. Why is the whole world so? I actually really claim that once you get the Shastra Vidya, you really realize human being is the worst enemy of a human being. We don't need other enemies. We are our worst enemies. We are enough to destroy ourselves. We are enough to destroy our species. We destroy everyone else, and we are enough to destroy ourselves, because the pattern of life that we created that we are creating, we are not ready to understand that this pattern of life is not healthy, is not right for a human existence. The modification had to happen, has to happen, but we are not. We are enemies of our own selves. Now, why is everyone so disturbed? And people take it as a natural aspect of life. Disturbance is natural. Who said that? Disturbance is not a natural state of your living. You are disturbed because you're not in your natural state of living. If you're in a natural state of your living, you will not be disturbed. What is the natural state of living? What is the natural state of living?
Happy. Happy. That is your
Happy.
natural state.
Correct. So,
Peaceful.
peaceful.
Satchitanand. Satchitanand.
Anand. Okay, that you have to discover. What else?
Santusht.
Santusht. You will have to manage your raga, dvesha, likes, dislikes. You have to manage your competitiveness. You have to manage your greed. You have to manage your anger. You have to manage your fear. You have to manage your that is all unnatural. All this is unnatural. Where is it coming from? All this is coming from the fact that if I know I am a conscious being and its proportion is, or its contribution is that alone is real. अगर मैं ये जान लूं, how will I function in the world? Will I have competition? Will I have fear? Will I have anger? Will I have frustration? They won't arise. So he says, Shastra says, Krishna says over here, फल से अपने आप को जोड़ो ही मत. It's first reason he is given. That reason should be held. जब मन तो मन है. What is that? मन तो बच्चा है जी. You know, man is like a child. It doesn't know anything. It doesn't have reasoning there. The reasoning capacity of yours has to be held to tell the mind when it goes after fruits, that's not your jurisdiction, come back. कर्म में लगाए रख. जितना अच्छा कर्म कर सकते हो बस उसमें रखो अपने अधिकार को. Automatically what will happen to the result? It will be definitely better than what you are if you attach to the result and act. उससे तो अच्छा ही होगा. But whatever comes, sangaha tu, drop that sangaha to karma phala hetu and drop the sangha to akarma. That samatvam is yoga. If anyone has understood this correctly, what does it imply? How does yoga get established?
भगवान को अर्पित कर दो तो शायद वो नहीं आए, वो फीलिंग नहीं आए.
That is okay. That is the right answer. But my question is a little on the different track. Isko establish, that is a method करने का, correct. But how will you say yogastha hai man? How will it get established in yoga?
When it's not expecting the result and it's not affected by the result also.
Right.
When you tell the man, at least that happens with me, I told my man ki this is not your jurisdiction, chupchap se do your work. That's it.
Correct. So, what does it imply? What does it need? Is my question may not be very clear.
Not having desires.
Reiteration.
Reiteration means what? What do you mean by?
Hold that thing so strongly within you that even if the man wants to come to run towards it, you can call it back, saying that it's not, you cannot control it. So might as well do the task.
When you're
Correct.
detached and doing it, when you're detached.
Right. That is all correct.
But
योग में मन कब establish हो जाएगा? All this is knowledge now. All this we are going to start.
जब ये अप्लाई करेंगे
Apply करेंगे and
और रिजल्ट आएगा.
फल
apply
से
कर.
नहीं जुड़ेंगे,
हाँ जी.
फल से नहीं जुड़ेंगे.
फल से नहीं जुड़ेंगे. It will need practice, अभ्यास, repetition. योग से जुड़ने का मतलब क्या है? What does it mean? It means not once or twice. This is mind's nature, tendency to go into the past and the future, go to the fruit and then act. It is mind's nature to lose enthusiasm to act if it doesn't see a result. It is a strong nature.
keep checking your mind every time.
Keep checking your mind in your capacity without making it a result again. I hope that sentence is complete. If you keep checking your mind without making it a result again, you can make it a result now. Oh, see, I'm doing so well, I'm not doing so well. Oh, my mind has lost yoga, my mind is in yoga. Does that become a result or not?
So keep
Without
checking your
making
mind
it-
with
making-
Ishwar in the mind also.
So, idea is every time the mind loses its own yoga sthiti, yog mein sthiti, and you find there'll be with a little practice, you start finding mind's excitement, mind's dejection, mind's frustration, mind's, very soon you are able to identify, and that is the past behavior of your mind that is carrying forward, and it will need that much practice in the present now for it to start weakening itself. So later on, Krishna is also going to say this, abhyasa, abhyasa, abhyasa. Karam Yoga is all abhyas. How long will it take? How much abhyas is needed? What is the difference between Karam Yoga and Gyan Yoga, Sankhya Yoga that we just saw? Karam Yoga का अभ्यास कितना चाहिए?
जब तक सांख्य योग तक ना पहुंच पाओ.
Correct. How much abhyas will it need? That's till your mind is prepared to set into an inquiry. Wa aayegi. You will find the detachment. You will find all these that Shastra talks as the fruits of a jnani in knowledge. You start seeing them relatively within yourself. Those qualities, those characteristics are there. That means all the mind is loosening its mala, its hold that it has held in ignorance in. As मैं दीप्ति होके जो मैंने पकड़ लिया था, अब दीप्ति होके योग कर रही है, तो दीप्ति ने जो पकड़ा था as दीप्ति, वो धीरे धीरे छूटता है. And that कर्म योग जैसे जैसे establish होता है, ये छूटता है, मन शांत होता है, मन रिलैक्स्ड होता है, एंड देयरफॉर धीरे धीरे मन में इंक्वायरी शुरू हो जाती है, बिकॉज वेदांता इज गोइंग अलोंग विद इट. सो वेदांता इज ऑलरेडी प्लांटिंग थॉट्स इन अस. It is already telling us you are Atma, and I know for myself, I can understand, but I can't claim it. Their missing gap must be there. As the qualification happens, the mind starts to get settled into the inquiry. That stage, how long can it take, will be to each one how mala is strong and how much is one's practice of it. But he says, at this point of one's if you are not automatically into an inquiring stage, ज्ञान निष्ठा में अभी तुम तैयार नहीं हो, इसलिए ज्ञान का अधिकारी अभी तुम नहीं हो. O Arjun, कर्मणि एव अधिकारः, Shankara said. In the Moolam, first adhikar is phal mein nahi hai adhikar. That is your practice. What is the reason further? कर्म में अधिकार है, फल में नहीं है. कर्म में अधिकार है, ज्ञान निष्ठा में अभी अधिकार नहीं है तुम्हारा अर्जुन. Therefore come back. कर्म में अधिकार है, फल में नहीं है. समत्वम योग उच्यते. समत्वम में आपका अभ्यास है. Have your practice in samatvam. See, observe, be alert, as you say. Have the alertness every time or as comfortably as you can. There is no reason to make it another pursuit. Your own swabhav is you. There is no reason to make Karam Yoga another goal, in that sense that it should bring up the result-orientedness within Karam Yoga. Keep mind free of it. Automatically, if you have understood it well and the value is understood well, to the extent it will hold back, remember the verse, Swalpam api. Even a little is enough to qualify. There is no perfection in it. Karmani eva adhikaraha natu jnana nishtha. Therefore, he says, karma kurvataha. Keep doing your karmas that are ordained by your swadharma, by your nature today. Ma phaleshu adhikaraha. Don't keep the adhikar on phal. Phal here is plural. Phalon mein adhikar mat rakho. Results ko mat dekho. The variety of results that your mind goes into, don't hold it back from there. Karma phala trishna ma bhoot kadachit. Karm ke phal ki trishna. What is binding is the trishna. Shankara puts it very clearly. When you say karam phal, it actually means the trishna for karam phal. The anxiousness for karam phal. Hona hai, otherwise you're restless, there is sleep goes, food goes, appetite goes, breathing goes, we all must have a stabilized breathing, but when the mind gets disturbed, our breathing gets distorted. That breathing tells us that mind is disturbed now. Identify why is the mind disturbed, you will identify it's gone into the past or the future. It's gone into the results or holding on to some past. That is called Trishna. The Shankara says, don't have karam phal ki trishna. Ma bhoot mat rakho. Kadachana kasyanchit kabhi bhi nahi. Api avasthayam iti. In that avastha. Act. Yada. Why should you not have karma phal trishna? He says, Yada. When karam phale. In the karam phal, trishna te syat, your te, trishna hai jab. When you have trishna in the karam phal, trishna is the thirst, is the obsession, is the attachment, is the hunger, is the tivra desire, obsession. Trishna is that. Your mind only thinks of that. That's trishna. Are you listening, Vedika? Comment if you are. Then I'll give an example, otherwise I'll skip it. That is called Trishna, obsessive mind. That is Trishna. That Trishna, he says, in Karam Phal do not have that. Karma Phala Trishna agar hogi, tada, then. Karma phala prapti hetu syaha. So where is that cycle of bondage setting in? Remember these terms well, you'll understand the whole samsara cycle. Karam phal mein trishna hai, that becomes the hetu. Trishna is the hetu for receiving the karma phal, prapti ke liye. So if an average desire, I have a desire for a lollipop, but it's okay if I don't get it. I don't have a trishna for it. It will not become a reason for you to have an experience generated for it. A world where you're born, where you are in the world of lollipops. Supposing I have a trishna for lollipops, what will happen to my world? It will readjust. My world will readjust and remanifest itself too. I'll be a manager.
Wanting it.
I'll be wanting it.
So I'll all perform karam according to that.
I'll perform karmas, or I'll probably become a manager in a lollipop form, where I'm surrounded by lollipops. Nature will bless me. Something like this will happen. Trishna means I cannot be happy without it. That's called Trishna. Trishna, simple desire is not a Trishna. A simple फल चाहिए तो कोई बात नहीं, वो तो सबको थोड़ा बहुत is. Nature doesn't punish us. Nature has no punishment for us. But if I am going to be unhappy if I don't get it, if I'll be miserable if I don't get it, that is Trishna. Yada hi karma phala Trishna. If you have karma phal Trishna, that Trishna becomes the hetu to receive a karma phal. Evam. Shankara's advice is, this take it as an advice of a great acharya. Acharya, when an acharya gives an advice, it is an ashirvad. What is that advice? Evam ma karma phala hetu bhuhu. Do not become the reason for karma phal ki prapti. Do not be the reason. Do not become the hetu for karma phal ki prapti. Which means, do not get attached to, do not be obsessed about the fruit. Do not have trishna for fruit. Yada hi karma phala trishna prayuktaha karmani pravartate. Yada, when, indeed, karma phala trishna prayuktaha karmani pravartate. Karmani in actions, pravartate you get engaged in. Karma phala trishna se yukt hokar, when you get engaged in actions, tada, then, when you get obsessed about results and you engage in actions, then karma phalasya eva janmanaha hetuhu bhavet. Then you have given occasion for a birth, janmalena, which becomes the hetu for birth to receive the karma phal. Therefore, he says, do not be obsessed. Do not send your mind in the future to results while you are in the present acting. You can have your natured goals, but don't make them results. Don't expect them. Have a jurisdiction on them. Therefore, he says, if you do, you are sure enough perpetuating a samsara gati. Yadi, if karma phalam naishyate, if you don't desire karma phal, so as we've been saying it now since 2-3 classes, kim karmana dukkha rupena, Very fascinating. Why should I engage in karmas which are of such elaborate exertions? Dukkha rupena means जो इतना दुख क्लेश देते हैं, कष्ट देते हैं. Who likes to work? Who likes to engage in action? They're all dukkha roop. They all are seen as exertions. Exertion सबको तंग करता है ना. Why should मेहनत क्यों करें हम? Etc. etc. Why should I act if I'm not to get a karma phal? If such a question is asked, iti mate, therefore the last advice given. If such a notion comes to you, then why should I work? You have to make a correction for that also. Sangam astu akarmani. Do not have a sanga to inaction. अकरणे प्रीति ही, मैं नहीं करती. अगर मुझे कुछ नहीं मिलेगा, I will not do. That अकरणे प्रीति ही, don't love your state of relaxation or enjoyment or shanti that comes out of inaction. Action is dukkha rupena. This much is clear to everyone? This is a vyavharik thing. 9 to 5, 9 to 9, काम करो, रोज सुबह जाओ, रोज शाम. You're working, it दुख रूप है, मेहनत है, there is an effort there. So it's seen as not enjoyable. Action is not seen as enjoyable normally by people. Karma दुख है. उस दुख का only counter that we have. Why am I ready to put in that effort? If I see a result. If I see a gain. So I am able to deal with that hard work. I am able to deal with that effort. That I can see a result. But if I don't have to see a result, then the action can be very dukkha rupena. Why should I go on putting this effort? Then he says, you will develop a fondness, a liking. You will get attached to, प्रीति हो जाएगी. अच्छा लगने लगता है अकर्म की जो शांति है. Have I conveyed this clear? कर्म को अगर दुख दिख रहा है तो ना करने में एक आनंद दिखता है, एक अच्छा लगता है. Relax, lounge, we don't, with least effort, maximum gain. Sundays are wonderful. Why? Because we can go out and eat. Or we can have, why do we have helpers? Because we don't have to act. There are people who have helpers to say, "Arey, pani bhi leke aao. Arey, bell baji hai, darwaza kholo." That much only effort you put in. Why? Because akarne mein ek shanti hai, ek preeti hai. Very, very identifiable this is. If I slip into the peace that inaction gives me, that is tamas. That is the enjoyment ka Brahma as in it looks like enjoyment. It looks like peace. It looks like shanti. But ma bhoot, do not fall for it. Do not encourage it in yourself. Do not encourage the peace of inaction that seems to be. Lazing a little is okay. If you're tired, the best example that I felt I used to, now I no longer, but it may help someone, so I'm just saying it. When your mind was determined only to do that vyavasaya, कर्म योग ही करना है और ज्ञान योग तो पता भी नहीं था क्या होता है. कर्म योग में, let me live a life on कर्म योग. You thought like that. At that time, to counter tamas, the reason I gave to myself at that stage was, anyway, nature has given us sleep, no? What is sleep? It is rest. Whenever you get tired enough, when the body will get tired, nature has given you time to sleep. When in waking, your entire effort should be not looking for more relaxation within the waking. Have I conveyed the spirit? कि जब नेचर ने ऑलरेडी दिया है रेस्ट का प्रोविजन, so why in the waking state must I yearn for more peace from inaction? Let me remain active. Body should be kept inactive. Mind should be kept in the action in the present. The action should be dedicated further is going to be elaborated. The mind doesn't have to go into the future. कल क्या होगा? अगर मैंने आज अच्छा जिया है तो कल क्यों बुरा होगा? और अगर बुरा हुआ भी है तो it's to be taken in its own stride. A simple formula that can help establish Karam Yoga. Then he said, Yogasthaha, as I've explained just now. If Karam Yoga should be your goal, then Shankara says, this Yogasthaha son, remain in the state of mental योग में जुड़ के रहो. मुझे कर्म योग में जुड़ के रहना है. Being remaining in that as a qualifier. Kuru karmani kevalam ishwarartham. So he's set in that yoga mein final attitude. While I'm engaged in action, if phal is not going to be my prayojan, I can slip into the joy of inaction. To prevent the joy of inaction, I must have another prayojan. Mandopi na pravartate. Karma mein mand bhi nahi to kaam karega. Therefore, what is that? Ishvara artham. Ishvara priti. Ishvara artham. For the sake of totality. Ishvara is nothing but another term for totality. Samashti. That samashti chaitanyam that one recognizes around is Ishvara. I work in tune with samashti. I'm not working in tune with Vyashti. Vyashti is individual. I'm not working in tune with the individual. I'm not working for my sake. My arms are not coming to me. My arms are stretching out to reach. My action is meant for someone else, benefiting the samashti. If my action benefits the samashti, then yavanartha udapane. If my goal is higher, it is Ishvara Priti. That is the highest that I can dedicate an action to. There is nothing higher than that. Moksha doesn't need an action. Moksha is free of all actions. I am a karta. But as long as I have a karta bhav, my karta bhav, the pinnacle of this karta bhav, can be directed towards the highest manifestation that karta can reach, which is only in the form of a relation with Ishvara, the samashti. Acting for the sake of samashti. That Ishwarartham, Yogasthaha san, remaining in that yoga avastha, mental determined state of mind, Kuru karmani, keep the actions, karmani, plural, Kuru, karo, do your actions. Then for what? Not for fruits, not for any other reason, not for your own sake. Kevalam, only Ishwarartham, for the sake of Ishvara. What is it for the sake of Ishvara? Ishvara doesn't need my action. In fact, because of Ishvara I act. Ishwarartham means I am raising my mind. मैंने अपने मन को उठाया है, अपने से छोड़ के व्यष्टि में किया है. That Ishvara Artham. Here also then, and these are the nuances that Shankara help us to clinch Karam Yoga. Here also in Ishvara Artham, the mind can slip into, is Ishvara getting pleased by me? Have I done enough? How much should I do? Now you can get very subtly result oriented. फल, मन बहुत, I don't want to use the word chalak, even though I have already used it now. मन बहुत manipulative होता है. Mind, स्वभाव है मन का. It's like a flow of water. It'll take a crack to come out. It'll find its crack to come out. If you have water, the nature of water is if you hold it in a vessel, it will still keep looking for, it'll keep exerting the pressure from within till a crack is there to come out. Mind is like that. It'll look for a crack to come out. So फल को अगर आप evidently आपने रोक भी लिया कि no, I'm not working for my personal sake, I'm now working for ईश्वर, वो फल का संग जुड़ जाएगा ईश्वर के साथ. ईश्वरः मे तुष्यतु. Is Bhagwan getting pleased? I'm doing fasts for gaining a good husband. Has Bhagwan got pleased? Or I'm doing something, some action. Is Bhagwan must have got pleased? Ishvara me tushyatu iti. In this manner, this thinking also, sangam, that attachment that you have to this, tyaktva, give it up. It should have no bearing in any way. Then it becomes karam yoga. In other words, when you have removed the ahankar in the action from the fruit, how do you remove it? Just giving it up. You keep your ahankar, your karta within the realm of the action. उसको करने में रखो. Sangam tyaktva. O Dhananjaya, another name for Arjun, who has collected so much dhan in his wars that even after a lot of dhanam, there was still adequate dhan. Therefore, he gets the name Dhananjaya. That is your real wealth. योगस्थ अगर हो के तुम कर्म करोगे, न पापम अवाप्स्यसि, and that what will not incur sin is what he has elaborated now in these verses. इस मन की स्थिति में रह के कर्म करोगे तो you cannot incur samsara cycle. Why? He is explaining here now completely. Phala trishna shunyena. अगर आपकी फल की तृष्णा शून्य means absence of फल तृष्णा. क्रियमाणे कर्मणि. You have initiated karmas. Kriyamane is continuity of your karmas. In your actions, if they are devoid of trishna for phal, obsession of the fruit, then such actions, sattva shuddhi ja. Ja is that birth I was talking. It will give rise to, it will give birth to, it will manifest sattva shuddhi. Sattva shuddhi is antakarana shuddhi, mana shuddhi. माइंड में जो दीप्तिनेस ने होल्ड करके रखा है उससे that will get शुद्ध. the राग द्वेष जो पकड़ के दीप्ति को, you know how an elastic band you stretch like this and you stretch like that and it stretches you. So if diptiness has held things from the world, it will stretch dipti. Sattva Shuddhi means things from the world are not pulling and stretching dipti. Diptiness can remain doing what she has to without being pulled and stretched by the world and the things to be got and not got and etc. Sattva Shuddhi Ja. With the birth of that Sattva Shuddhi, what will happen? Jnana Prapti Lakshana Siddhi. When Krishna says Siddhya Asiddhya Samo Bhutva, Shankara says, understand Siddhi to be, what is Siddhi? Jnana Prapti Lakshana Siddhi. How? Sattva Shuddhi Ja. How? Pala Trishna Shunyena Kriyamane Karmani. Siddhi kise kehte? What is the real accomplishment? When through Sattva Shuddhi, Antakarna Shuddhi, uska lakshan hai Jnana Prapti. You are now ready for knowledge. Atma Gyan ke liye you have prepared. You are prepared to receive Atma Gyan. That is real Siddhi. Viparyaja Asiddhi. What is Asiddhi? You have to remain somewhere between Siddhi, Asiddhi. What is Asiddhi? Opposite of this Siddhi. What is opposite? Phala Trishna San. Phal Trishna rakhte hue. Kriya Mane Karmani. If you do your actions with Phal Trishna, then Sattva Shuddhi Naja. Sattva Shuddhi Ja Nasti. It will not happen. Therefore, what will happen? Jnana Prapti Lakshana Nasti. Will not come. Na bhavati. Will not happen. That is Asiddhi. Tayoho, between these two. Siddhya Asiddhayoho api samaha tulyaha bhutva. Keep your mind balanced between your gains, even in the realm of, say, spiritual fruits, and not. Bhutva. Kuru karmani. Do your actions. And then, what is that yoga called? That we have already seen. That samatvam between siddhi and asiddhi is yoga. O Arjuna, be yogastha. Why? There are so much so much shreyas in having yogastha bhavna, having a yogastha attitude, having a yogastha sthiti. Karmo mein yogastha hoke karm karo. That needs tweaking within one's mind. What is tweaking? राग को ट्वीक करा, द्वेष को ट्वीक किया, अहंकार को ट्वीक किया, कर्ता को ट्वीक किया, फलाशक्ति को ट्वीक किया, अकर्मा को ट्वीक किया, इनएक्शन को मीन्स अटैचमेंट टू दैट ट्वीक किया, लेजीनेस को ट्वीक किया. It all boils down to what? All this may be not so easy. So in common parlance, what has become popular, because इतना ज्ञान कौन लेगा दुनिया में, एंड किस में इतनी कैपेसिटी है कि वो उसको बैठ के अपने ट्वीक करे. You have to be very alert and very dedicated for moksha to have that tweakiness in you, in everyday perceptions of life and opportunities that life presents. Otherwise, it's made popular by saying, kartavyanisht ho jao. The same thing he had said. If you become kartavyanisht, then all this will get tweaked indirectly. You don't have to actively tweak them. Kartavyanisht hona is karma yoga. Not just kartavyanisht hona. Kartavyanisht hona for Ishwarartham is karma yoga. I have to present it. There was a whole lot of Vedanta that flowed, that still flows, where Karam Yoga, Ishwarartham is completely replaced by just a higher goal in life. If you just replace it with any higher goal, it is like saying if a cricketer plays cricket for his team and not for his own, every team player, you don't come to rise to a national player if you're going to play for your sake. Sports brings some development in you, but does that make it Karam Yoga? He works for the team, doesn't work for his own statistics, but works to win for the sake of the team and for the sake of the country. There is no Ishvara here. Is that Karam Yoga? This Brahma must go from society. There is a huge disadvantage that has come in the name of Vedanta, where Ishvara has got replaced with higher goal in life. And that can make you very obsessive in action. It will not free you from sansar. It will not give you sattva shuddhi. Yes, because you are better than working for yourself, one step better. If you work for the country country will acknowledge you. But will it free you from your felt sansaric nature? No. Karam Yoga is Ishwarartham, period. Whether you identify with Ishvara, you don't identify with Ishvara, whether you're an atheist, whether you do not believe in Ishvara, whether you believe in Ishvara with another name of God, Christ, Allah, whatever, whether that is immaterial. If you want the benefit of Karam Yoga, if you want the benefit as in Chitta Shuddhi is the only possibility from Karam Yoga. Karam Yoga se Chitta Shuddhi is your gain. If that is what you want, then Ishvara has to be in between. Uske bina, it's like katakanat powder. I gave the example. In Atmabodh it comes. If the well is dirty, water it has, then to purify that water, you are adding alum. That addition of alum in the water is as if added another thought, another impurity. But the nature of it is it displaces the entire impurity of the water and it removes itself in the end, settles down at the bottom, and you get pure water. Ishvara introduction in Karam Yoga is like that. Unless and until it is for Ishvara, that is the only nishkamata that can come. That nishkamata means my entire kamata gets attached to Ishvara. मुझे कामना बस यही है, वो भी क्या, ईश्वरते तुष्य तो भी नहीं जानी चाहिए. That I am doing to please Bhagwan. Let's understand very factually, is Bhagwan really there to get pleased by your action? All it means is that your karma is purified enough, is directed in the right direction, that it will give the right result as per the law. The giver of karma phal not being in your jurisdiction, the giver of that karma phal data, whoever that law holder is, that is Ishvara. कोई तो दे रहा है ना फल आपको एक वक्त जब आता है तो मैनिफेस्ट हो रहा है ना, कोई तो दे रहा है. Doesn't become a person. Ishvara is not a person. You can personalize it, no problem. But Ishvara is not a person. It's exactly like saying Jiva can be personalized. Brahman is personalized as a Jiva here. But Brahman is not a person. It's not limited to a person. Therefore, he says, Siddhi Asiddhi, between them that Samatvam itself is being in yoga. It has another definition that when it comes. Here the idea is the Samatvam is a huge way in which it can be implemented and practiced. And then he now gives counter again another reason. Yat punaha samatva buddhi yuktam ishvara arardhanartham karma uktam etasmat karmanaha. Again, repeating, समत्व बुद्धि युक्तम, समत्व बुद्धि से युक्त होके ईश्वर आराधनार्थम कर्म, doing your actions as Ishwar Aradhana. Work is worship. Work is worship is a motto that people implement. You have a worshipful attitude with reference to work. It's an attitude of prayer that you hold with reference to work. That is Ishwar Aradhanartha Artham Karma. Such an action is the highest possible and is the only way possible. Eka eva. What was that verse? Vyavasayatmika buddhi. Ekeha iha kurunandana. There's only one way in which you can do it. Oh Arjuna, in the 49th verse, then he says, why? Because O Dhananjaya, Durena hi avaram karma, buddhi yogat. Buddhi yogat is karam yogat. From karam yog, from buddhi yog, karam buddhi yog se kiya hua, usse avaram, very inferior, very low, निकृष्ट, बहुत नीचा है, दूरेण, it's very far off. Karam done not as karam yog is very low, बहुत नीचा है. Avaram, it is not varam. Varam is superior, higher. Buddhi yog is higher. बुद्धि योग से जो कर्म नहीं किए, that is avaram, and they are very far off. In what? In giving you, freeing you from the cycle. They are very far off, means they'll have no direct effect on freeing you from the cycle. Shankara gives the meaning of avaram as adhamam, nikrishtam karma. Means, who is that? Phalarthina, जो फल में इच्छा रखे हैं. दूरेण अति विप्रकर्षेण, unrevealed. It's very far off. Dureణ, very far. Or unconnected. It is so low that it becomes unconnected. पल से किया हुआ, जुड़ा हुआ कर्म is unconnected to the karma that is the benefit of the buddhi yogat, samattva buddhi yuktat karmanaha. Connected to what? Janma marana adi hetutvat. To becoming the reason, hetu, for janma marana adi. What is adi? Adi is etc. What is between janma and marana?
Life.
Samsara.
And what is it?
Sukha, dukha.
Sukha dukha. जन्म और मरण के बीच में
All emotions.
correct.
Jivatva.
Shad vikar. Therefore sukha dukha. Shad vikar is what? Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinimate, apakshiyate, vinashyate. Janm or marana adi means the entire 6 modifications that the body goes through, and therefore you have the experience of sukha and dukkha in it. Phalarthi, look at this huge, that's why I started the class by saying this is extraordinary knowledge. This is, even if it's very common, you can hear, thanks to social media now, it will still remain rare. Because फलार्थी होके कर्म जो नहीं करेगा, वही सिर्फ हेतु बन सकता है टू फ्री हिम फ्रॉम जन्म एंड मरण। फलार्थी होके कर्म जो करेगा, उन कर्मों का जन्म मरण आदि से फ्रीडम नहीं है, बिकॉज समत्व बुद्धि युक्तात् नहीं है वो कर्म। तो in relation to the cycle of samsara, फलार्थी कर्म, फल से अर्थ रखने वाला जो कर्म करता है, फल से युक्त होके कर्म करता है, वो संसार गति प्राप्त करता है। बुद्धि योगात जो कर्म करता है, वो जन्म मरण आदि से मुक्ति पाता है, gains freedom from the entire cycle. Therefore, what should be your Shreyas, Arjuna?
अपनी ड्यूटी करो।
Because Arjuna showed two symptoms. He showed symptoms of saying, I'll take to the life of sannyasa, bhiksha. Bhagwan says, you cannot. Gyan nisht mein abhi tum taiyar nahi ho. Therefore, karam karo. Then he had given up his arms. He had given up his desire to fight. He had given up his desire to act. Bhagwan says, Sangahatu akarmani na. Do not get identified with inaction. Because these are the ones that will keep you in the cycle. But if you genuinely want your Shreyas, फिर ये भी एक ऑप्शन है तुम्हारे पास जो हम नॉर्मली कंसिडर ही नहीं करते. We only consider two options, either result action or inaction. That there is a third way to act, we generally don't bring it in our perception. We, by default, do not arrive at it, but by anugraha of societal presence of this knowledge in different forms, we hear it. Who gets inspired and who works to bring that attitude, tweaks till he's got that attitude. Who was that person who found, who made and invented the aeroplane? Wright brothers, right? They were Wright brothers, right? Who got the aeroplanes. What's their famous quotation? How many times they failed before they made the final one that flew a little distance. They failed 1,000 times or 99 times, whatever that quotation says. Mm-hmm. But the effort to hold the work, they didn't stop. Karam Yog, ek bar, do bar, no. Till I have identified that I am able to act without all these. And it's a recognizable, because knowledge is there now. तो हमें खुद को पता चल जाता है कि अब वो state of freedom क्या है. Till then, even if one doesn't get straight away how to do it, one stays with it because there is no other way. The other ways are only going to create bondage. This much will end here now. We'll continue in the next class. 49th verse onwards, we'll continue more. But as far as now the text is concerned, it has in a way completed the teaching that is beneficial for Adhyatmic Gati. It has completed giving to the highest Adhikari Atma Vidya. It has finished in a way giving what will qualify you for that Atma Vidya. It has given Vidya of what is going to qualify you for it, how to do it, brought it so intricately in perception, what is to be corrected within oneself, why you should correct it, and definitely it's encouraged the sadhak, even a little of doing karam yoga will qualify you for jnana yoga. Therefore, stick to that. As far as I see, everything has been laid out. For the rest of one's serious student, sincere student, rest of our life, a guide map has been handed over. It's like the baton is yours now. But for our sake, probably, Rag Dvesh is so held, Karam Yoga doesn't become a straight perception also, and Arjuna, where he was involved in his samsar, he still needs more clarifications. So the same, this is the cream of knowledge. Now the same knowledge is going to be given again and again and again throughout the Gita till all the 18 chapters are covered from different angles, different aspects. Karam Yog nahi samajh mein aaya, to he'll say, upasana karo, upasana nahi ho rahi hai, 12th chapter, qualities lao, jnani ki lao, kahi inspiration, so bring it to values. But this is direct. So throughout the Gita, we will have so many ways in which he will say you can come to Chitta Shuddhi. But a wise person realizes this is complete. There is no greater knowledge in the world, and I can stand by this. You can make me swear on it. There is nothing greater than this. Because nothing has the capacity to guide you to arrive at that awareness component and its inquiry. I am aware. How do I inquire this? How do I start thinking on it? Why are my eyes seeing? Why is my ear hearing? Why am I smelling? That to inquire is a different topic completely. वो ज्ञान योग का विषय है. But for that ज्ञान योग, कर्म योग is your साधन. और जितना निष्ठ कर्म योग में होता है, उतनी उसकी अंतःकरण शुद्धि होती है. जितनी उसकी अंतःकरण शुद्धि है, उतनी उसमें जिज्ञासा है. So we'll end here and conclude.
ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु, सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महिषाः, गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम्. लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु. काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः, पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी, देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः, ब्रह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dipti ji.
Thank
Hari
you,
Om.
Dipti ji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Dipti ji.
Thank you
Hari
over
Om.
here. Hari Om ji.